Get your biz together. Live video starting. I'm not ready. Oh. Hello. Good morning. We're starting with a big laughter this morning. I'm Rebecca. Welcome to Park Grove. We're going to start this morning with a song. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of you who nurture children and other beings in this world. We need each other. And thank you, mothers. Jordan, let's play a song. Come on, let's play a song. This is a Malvina Reynolds tune called Magic Penny. We're inviting you to sing along. Words are pretty simple. Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. It's just like a magic penny. Hold it tight and you won't have any. Lend it, spend it, and you'll have so many. They'll roll all over love for love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. Money's dandy and we like to use it, but love is better if you don't refuse it. It's a treasure and you'll never lose it unless you lock up the door for love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. So let's go dancing till the break of day, and if there's a piper we can pay. For love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. Oh, love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. I can't hear you. Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. So let's go dancing till the break of day, and if there's a piper, we can pay. For love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. Oh, love is something if you give it away, you give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. Oh, you end up having more. Oh, you end up having more. Thank you, Malvina Reynolds. I always kind of considered her the grandmother of folk music. And in my family, we've been blessed with generations, and it's been a great blessing to me to know my grandmother, my mother's mother, my granny, my father's mother, and then my father's parents before them. So I had a great-grandmother, two of them, and I'm just very thankful for the lineage and the blessings. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. And today I am here to honor our mothers, our grandmothers, and all of the greats. Our bridge to creation, from spirit to life. Let us rejoice and be thankful. Ancestors, thank you for procreating so that we may be here today. And to our mothers, we thank you for bearing our birthing, hearing our cries, and nurturing our souls. In my 365 Tao teaching, it says, to give back what you've learned, share your experience. This is what mothers do. Mothers know this. We share the time, energy, knowledge, and hope, so much for the best, and protect them with every fiber of our being. This is a Holly Near song. It's called Mountain Song. I have dreamed on this mountain since first I was my mother's daughter, and you can't just take my dreams away. And not with me watching, now you may drive a big machine, but I was born a great big woman, and you can't just take my dreams away without me fighting. Now this old mountain raised my many daughters. Some died young, some are still living. But if you've come here for taking a mountain, well, we ain't come here to give it. I have dreamed on this mountain since first I was my mother's daughter, and you can't just take my dreams away. And not with me watching, no, you can't just take my dreams away without me fighting. No, you can't just take my dreams away. I've known many women who have had to set aside their dreams to raise their children without a partner. And this is a song dedicated to those single mothers. It's called Red Dirt Girl. Also known as the drop D thing. The drop D thing. You know she's a rambling girl, moving all the time. You know she's a rambling girl. She's gotta keep moving down that line. She's gonna make some money, she's gotta make some cash, moving to feed that baby, put food in its mouth. 'Cause you know she has no honey, no man at home. You know she has no sweet thing. That man up and left her for something he could hold. But she'll be a muse in the morning, she'll be a muse at night. She'll be your muse till the prairie wind blows. And she's swept way out of sight. The Oklahoma rambling girl, when she hears the wind call her name. Oklahoma red dirt girl, she's restless to the call. She must answer or go insane. Go insane. Go insane. You know she's a rambling girl, moving all the time. You know she's a rambling girl. She's gotta keep moving down that line. She's gotta keep moving down that line. She's gotta keep moving down that line. Oh, go ahead, you start right here.
I'm out of here.
All right, no, you're not out of here. We're playing that other one now. So, as a single mother, I put myself through college. Instead of going out to bars and trying to get gigs, I went to college and became a teacher instead. I wrote my daughter this song when she was a teenager, because raising a teen isn't always easy. You fear for their safety as they navigate a less than gracious world. And kids are not always kind to each other because their parents are not always kind to them. So we try to show them all grace. So this is for my daughter Elenia and hers, Addie. Never doubt you are safe, loved, and protected. And from Matthew 28:20, remember I am with you always, to the end of the age. A hope of mother's love always endures. This is called Baby Come Home. Well, don't you know we've been through some tough times, traveling here and there and meeting every kind of good and bad faces we've seen down this path, just you and me. You know, some folks say I'm crazy living life so fast, so young, while others think I'm like a tank, armored and on the run. I just think I live for love from day to day, hoping not to lead you astray. Baby, come home. Baby, come home. There's just one thing you gotta do when life is too hard on you. Baby, come home. There are many things I hope you know to be true. Oh, I wanna say them out loud and sing them all for you. No matter what happens and where you may go, if you're ever in need, all you need to know, baby, come home. Baby, come home. There's just one thing you gotta do. If you're ever in trouble, I'll see you through. Baby, come home. Though the water is rising and the path is faint, I feel your strength and your sweet embrace. I'm proud of you for standing tall, smiling in the face of fear in spite of it all. 'Cause there's one thing you gotta do, only one thing you gotta do. You know I'll always have a place for you. Baby, come home. Oh, I know we've seen some strange things through the years, all the good and bad dreams. Nothing will come between us with love on our side. You know I'll always be with you. You're my love and my pride. Baby, come home. Baby, come home. There's just one thing you gotta do. You know I'm here to see you through. Baby, come home. Baby, come home. There's just one thing you gotta do when life is too hard on you. Baby, come home. Thank you, Jordan. That song's been in the back shelf on a closet for a long time. I appreciate you playing that with me. Thank you so much. As a young mother, many choices were made from a lack of experience. Yet our love endures. I'm so thankful for my girls, for my mothers before me, given us so much resiliency. I hope that I've done well by them and have been a blessing to my children in turn. I am who I am because of our love. Happy Mother's Day to those who fill all mothers' shoes. I have had many dear friends of mine who were my friends' mothers, who became like sisters in love, and I wish you all a happy Mother's Day. To mothers who grieve their children, or children grieving their mothers, as I know my cousins grieve my aunt this year, I pray for you to find peace this day and know that that love endures. Though they may be gone, their love lives through us. Tell your people you love them every chance you get. As a teacher, I call them all my children. And the most important thing I can do for them is to listen. As we recognize God the Father so many times, let us also recognize God the Mother. As nameless, faceless, genderless creator, they say, God also must be the mother, the vessel to carry us all through. For us to know gentle love, because it takes a village, and we all need to be and feel heard. Remember to bring the mother's love with you for yourself and others, nurturing compassion, patience, and mercy. We pray this for all of you, because life isn't always easy, but maybe making a simple sandwich can help change the world. Moms know this. Thank you, Mom. May the road rise to greet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of their hands. May love hold you in its hands. If you will, receive these. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be at peace. May you be loved, and may you be love, today and always. Amen. Thank you, Jordan.
All right. That was awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. So, I'm excited and nervous, and is it all right if I hand you some of this stuff? No, it's all good. Thank you. That was awesome. Okay, cool. So, Peter and Russell, when Peter invited me to live here, you know, my thought was that I would be, helping book events, maybe once or twice a month or something. Wasn't sure what was going to go on with the church side of things. But then I was like, well, I'm here, and if I'm free on Sunday mornings, yeah, I'll get involved. And then, we kind of talked about doing this music thing, and they went along with it. And so we're trying this out, and so anyway, I kind of wanted to try and give a message at some point, because to me, not being a particularly religious person myself, I was brought up in a religious household, and my parents are still religious, and I love that it worked for them, but it didn't work for me. But I've always kind of missed a church type experience, because this kind of thing is just it's a really cool thing to be able to get together with people, and I always loved singing in church, so I was like, well, if we can make it a lot about music, that would be really good. And music has been kind of the main thing that's taught me all my major life lessons over the last 15 years. It's like almost all of them have come from music. So initially, when I started kind of thinking about what I would say here, I was going to do like a whole list of like all these life lessons that I've gotten from playing music, and then really quickly I realized that'd be too much. So I'm going to like probably spread out little bits of it like throughout different weeks. But today, like last week, we kind of honed in on harmony as the concept, and I just think that's like, I just love the concept of that and how that fits for music and life, and kind of how those two go together. And I kind of feel like maybe I'm projecting, but I kind of feel like harmony is kind of the point of why anybody goes to church or why anybody does a lot of things. It's like wanting to live, peacefully and with things being good with the way things are, you want to start with Sound of Silence real quick? Okay, so when I thought of like musical harmony, there's so many amazing groups throughout the years where, I'm sure you guys can think of plenty where the vocal harmonies are why you listen to that group. And for me, the first one that came to mind was Simon and Garfunkel. And I just remember as a kid hearing Sound of Silence and just being totally entranced by the harmony. So we're going to start though with no harmony, just to kind of show a little bit of development.
I have heard.
And if you guys feel like singing along, partway through, not the beginning, because then it'll be too full, but partway through, feel free. So we're going to do Sound of Silence. So let's go.
Sing on enough acapella, start on visions, so we have a little harmony.
What's that?
We start on visions, so we have a little harmony in that first verse, the acapella.
Okay, I kind of thought one whole verse
All
would
right,
be
all
cool.
right.
If you're
I've been
down.
singing a lot of acapella. See?
Okay, well.
So here we go.
You got it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone in streets of native cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp I turned my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People hearing without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share. No one dare disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echo in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sounds of silence.
Nice. Thank you, Rebecca. Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah, so you know, I kind of sprung this on Rebecca this morning. I was like, okay, so the thing is, you're singing the whole first verse by yourself. No pressure. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show, you know, I mean, obviously the whole song they're singing in harmony the whole time, and that's why it sounds so amazing. But I kind of wanted to show a little bit of the contrast. And you still sounded great with it solo. So let's hop to some definitions of harmony. So I looked up harmony, and so there's kind of three different chunks. There's like one chunk with a few definitions as it relates to music, one chunk as it relates to kind of personal or just general stuff, and then one chunk that kind of relates to stories. So the music, the first harmony is, or first definition is the combination of simultaneous musical notes in a chord. So let's just try that real quick. So ha, ha, ha. Cool. All right, great. All right, Park Grove Community Choir, first rehearsal over. That was awesome. So just right in that moment, we're all singing different notes, how they work together. That's a sense of harmony. In music, it can also mean the structure of music with respect to the composition and the progression of chords and their relation. So if you're learning a new song, you got to learn the harmony to the song. So you got to learn all the chords in a row, and kind of how they work together. And then the third definition under music is the science of the structure, relation, and progression of chords. So kind of like music theory. And I started playing guitar recently, and there's this great guitar player named Ted Green, who, if you get a chance to check out Ted Green videos on YouTube, he's got really amazing performances and then also great music lessons. But he has this book, and this whole book is a bajillion chords. So this is just kind of an example of, you know, I mean, you can kind of see kind of how in depth, you know, harmony can get. And I think that's also cool too, because that kind of, you know, as an analogy, you know, harmony can be really simple. We just did like the most basic chord you could sing, you know, 3 notes, but it gets very deep. And if you get into jazz, like, you know, you can hear like 8 or 9 notes at once in a chord, and it's really rich, and there's dissonance in there, but there's still, depending on the, you know, the listener, there's still some sense of harmony or organization or like a pleasing, you know, sound to it. Which brings me to the next chunk. So it can also mean a pleasing arrangements of parts, or pleasing arrangement of parts, or a congruence, and that could be with art, you know, that could be like the colors in a painting and the structure. That could be, you know, notes in a chord. That could be the right spices and herbs and food. Harmony can also mean between people. It can mean agreement, accord, being on the same page. And then on a personal level, it can also mean internal calm and tranquility. And then the last chunk of harmony, as it kind of pertains to stories, is an interweaving of different accounts into a single narrative, or a systematic arrangement of parallel literary passages like the Gospels, for the purpose of showing agreement and harmony. And I think that's also like really beautiful, because that's kind of how our lives are being led. They're all happening at the same time. It's all part of one bigger story, you know, and whether or not we can recognize it as harmony, you know, is kind of up to us. So now I'm gonna read. So that there's 2 books that I'm gonna be kind of pulling from a lot for this. The Tao Te Ching, and this really cool book by Hazrat Inayat Khan, who's a Sufi master. And the Sufis, it's this Indian religion that is like a mystical religion, and this book is called The Mysticism of Music, Sound, and Word. And it's completely mind-blowing. I had never thought of a lot of the things that this kind of talks about, but Sufis, their main goal in life is harmony. And so I'm going to read a little bit from this Sufi book on harmony. So, harmony is the source of manifestation, the cause of its existence, and the medium between God and man. the peace for which every soul strives and which is the true nature of God and the utmost goal of man is but the outcome of harmony. This shows that all life's attainments without a sense of harmony are but vain. It is the attainment of harmony which is called heaven, and it is the lack of it which is termed hell. The master of it alone understands life, and he who lacks it is foolish in spite of all other knowledge that he may have acquired. The Sufi gives great importance to the attainment of harmony, believing that light is for angels and darkness for the devil, but that harmony is necessary for a human being in order to keep a balance in life. There are three aspects of harmony: eternal, universal, and individual. And so I'm going to read the little chunk on eternal harmony real quick too. Eternal harmony is the harmony of consciousness. As it is in itself eternal, all things and beings live and move in it, yet it remains remote, undisturbed, and peaceful. This is the God of the believer and the God of the knower. All vibrations from the finest to the grossest are held together by this harmony, as well as each atom of manifestation, and both creation and destruction take place in order to uphold it. Its power ultimately attracts each being towards this everlasting peace. I think that's super cool. And just, on some level, thinking about like universal harmony, or like thinking about that being the way you think of the way things already work together, it's basically like everything already is the way it is. So it's like, do you choose to recognize that as everything working together harmoniously or not? So on some level, harmony is kind of an attitude and a decision, I would say, to go like, yeah, this, I recognize this as harmony. So also, real quick, gonna pop back out to a couple things from the Daddy Ching real quick. I may at some point start cutting everything really short to be in harmony with my schedule today, which is that I have to go play at Mayfest, so I have to be done in about 15 minutes. So maybe we're going to move really quick. So let's see. So here's a little thing from the Daddy Ching. So the supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. I'm going to skip the next reading thing because we got to kind of move quickly. But I really like, I'm super into Taoist ideals of, that harmony with yourself kind of has a lot to do with kind of recognizing just the way that you are and the way that things are naturally and kind of going with the flow. Cool. So all right, so next we get to kind of harmony with oneself, which this kind of gets into, or that one kind of hinted at a little bit. So, also from the Tao Te Ching, if you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. The Master, by residing in the Tao, sets an example for all beings. Because she doesn't display herself, people can see her light. Because she has nothing to prove, people can trust her words. Because she doesn't know who she is, people recognize themselves in her. Because she has no goal in mind, everything she does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, if you want to be given everything, give everything up, they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself. So there's a lot about just, kind of acceptance, and I like, I love all the opposites and the balance in the Tao Te Ching. So, all right, we're gonna jump into. Oh, and I will just say that for me, like musically, that's kind of been the journey I've been on personally for a long time. Is when you start learning music, you learn all these other people, how they play music, and you try and imitate. If you sing a song you like, you kind of try and sing it like the person that sung it originally. Or, if you're learning jazz, you learn solos that other people took. But, as many Charlie Parker solos as you study, you can never be Charlie Parker. You'll never, you'll learn some of that language. So like this great journey, in music and I think in life is, kind of learning who am I? What is this thing? And so I think one way I've kind of put it that really works for me when I think about music is it's not so much about the what that you do as much as it is about the how that you do it. And if you get the how right, if you get the mindset, the style that you want to, come from, then all the what just kind of happens as a result of that, rather than like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this thing, and I hope it comes across well, So anyway, with that in mind, I'm gonna bring up Sarah, and we're gonna do Sarah Maud, everybody. We're going to do a song called "Tain't What You Do, It's the Way That You Do It." And when we get past the first time singing through it, we're going to go to a little everybody scat along section. So feel free to clap, dance, scat, whatever. And, just think about the way that you want to do it. Don't worry about what it is, All right, cool. Oh, and if you would, because it's jazzy.
It ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. Ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. Ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. And that's what gets results. No, it ain't what you do, it's the time that you do it. Ain't what you do, it's the time that you do it. Ain't what you do, it's the time that you do it. And that's what gets results. You can try hard, don't mean a thing. Take it easy, then your job will swing. Oh, it ain't what you do, it's the place that you do it. Ain't what you do, it's the time that you do it. Ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. And that's what gets results. You can try hard, don't mean nothing. Take it easy, then your job will swing. It ain't what you do, it's the place that you do it. Ain't what you do, it's the time that you do it. Ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. And that's what gets results.
Yeah. That's lyrically, that's one of my favorite jazz songs. I'm just like, yes, because especially like jazz musicians, I feel like it's really easy for us to take ourselves very seriously. You have to learn a lot of stuff to play jazz, and you have to learn all this theory, and it can be a very serious thing. And then you play that song, and it's like, you can try hard, but it don't mean a thing. It's like, take it easy, then your jive will swing, and you're like, whoa, that's just like, that's amazing. Okay, let's see. Do we want to? Yeah, you know what? We're gonna. Yes, I'll call you right back up in just a second. Okay. So just in terms of little quick note on just stuff you can do to practice harmony within yourself. Obviously, things like meditation. Kind of learning how to figure out things that you want to do that work for you. That's super personal for everybody. One thing that Sarah taught me that I just love and I do all the time is humming breath. So it's this exercise where you just take a deep breath and then you hum. And I literally do that all the time when I'm driving. Like I'm literally humming, I'm doing the humming breath all the time now because it feels good. And one of the cool things I think about that for me is you're not trying to make it sound like anything. Like you're not trying to achieve a sound that's outside of yourself and figure out how to manipulate this to get that. It's just like, you know, you learn to feel your own raw sound, and the more you live there, the more natural I think that becomes, and that's kind of like this amazing process of kind of finding your own voice. So let's hop on to harmony with others, which is, you know, where it becomes really important and fun. So for me as a bass player, this is not a great solo instrument. This is not something many people want to hear by itself. I don't know if you guys watch The Office. There's this hilarious Office episode where they want to try and hire a jazz trio, but like the budget's not really good, so they only get this upright bass player, and so he's just like standing in the corner, just kind of walking along, and it's like, I mean, I think it's kind of cool, but it would probably be awkward and not very entertaining for most people to listen to. So, you know, harmony as it pertains to working with others is massively important, and this is where like a lot of the life lessons I've learned have come from. It's all about like relationships, and you know, for a long time at rehearsals, I would be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, that sucks. That thing you did, like, let's do this," you know, and that didn't work very well. So a couple things real quick, just in harmony with others. I love this concept like that I got from actors. This game, Yes and. Are you guys familiar with Yes and? So Yes and is an improv game, and somebody goes, you know, wow, the weather sure is nice today, and you have to agree with it, and then you say the next thing, and you're like, yeah, and I heard blah, blah, blah is going on, and they go, oh yeah, and this, and basically the game keeps getting propelled forward because you accept whatever it is that the person across from you said. There's no like, oh, really, is it? You know, it's like, yeah, that, and this. And that to me is like one of my favorite tools I have for like conflict resolution, and just in general, like if you have any, you know, wanting to get somebody on your side, the quickest way is to be on their side right at the get-go. Yeah, whatever you said, 100% agree with that. Also, I think this thing. And so also, you know, one of the main things in terms of harmony with others is listening is key. If you're not, you know, I love that you brought up listening at the end of your thoughts, because yeah, if you're not listening, you can't be in harmony. As a bass player, I would say also early on in my development, there was a lot of time where my main thought process was like, I want to make a cool bass line. You know, it's like I would hear the chord progression to a song and I'd be like, cool, I want to do something cool. And it was almost as though like I knew, you know, what the context was, and I was going to try and make my thing be cool in that context. And it took being in a band with Chris Foster, you know, and he wrote a song, and you know, I was kind of doing that. I was like trying to be this cool, you know, jazzy guy and come up with a cool bass line, and he was like, "You're playing all over my song," you know. I was like, "Whoa," you know, because I thought I was being cool and creative, like I'm supposed to be as a bass player. But you know, it's been a great lesson that like to listen more, to play less, and like nothing you do is gonna be good by itself if you're not aware of the context it's happening in. So real quick, let's do this exercise. I don't have a ton of time, so we're gonna have to move pretty quick. But this exercise, this is a cool composition by Pauline Oliveras, and it's cool that it's called a composition because we're not gonna read any notes or anything. So the basic exercise is this. You take a deep breath and you sing first a note that you hear someone else singing in the room. And then you take another deep breath, and the next time you sing a note that you don't hear yet in the room that you would like to hear. And we're just going to alternate, and we're just going to do that for just like a minute or something. So I'll provide the first note. So, or it could be up an octave. So now. So cool. I could do that for a long time, but we can't. But I love that balance because that also to me works really well with kind of how I think of balance in music and in life, which is like this kind of 50-50 split between, okay, what do I want to do, based on what's happening around me, and like tuning into other stuff. So all right, we should be done really soon. So you want to do Sunshine real quick? So this is thank you guys so much for being here and for listening to this, and anyone who tuned in online. This is just super cool, and I love getting the chance to talk to you about harmony today. And also from the Tao Te Ching, or no, not from the Tao Te Ching, from the Sufi book, there was this really cool mantra, which if you want, say it to yourself, but I highlighted this one because I thought it was cool, but harmonize my soul, Lord, with all people in all conditions. And I just think that's a really amazing mantra. Harmonize my soul, Lord, with all people in all conditions. So this last song is an original song of mine, and this is about how, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but just singing together with people can kind of lift you out of, whatever crap you were in before that. So this song is called Sunshine. Sitting in the sunshine, singing with my friend. Can't recall now why I've been so sad. Give me a little more time and I'll be right as rain. Let the light in through my window pane. So you've had storms in your sky. Well, come over and be my friend. I'll keep you dry. Sitting in the sunshine, now it's bright again. Can't recall now why I've been so sad. Take a solo, Sal. Storms in your sky. Well, come over and be my friend. I'll keep you dry. Sitting in the sunshine, now it's bright again. I can't recall now why I've been. I can't recall now. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. If you're looking for something to do, I'm going to be over at Mayfest playing with King Cabbage Brass Band, which is a band that has 5 horns up front, all playing in harmony. So come see harmony in action. Is it okay to do commercials at church? We're doing commercials. Now this band is sponsored by King Cabbage. All right. Well. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you.